Welcome back to Russ Recaps. In today's video, I will be explaining a crime and thriller movie titled Non-Stop, which was released in 2014. Spoilers ahead, so be warned, and let's get started. The movie begins with a U.S. federal marshal agent named Bill Marcus sitting on his car that's parked outside of an airport. He spikes his morning coffee with whiskey and calls someone, insisting that he can be trusted before he leaves to enter the airport. Inside, he's on the phone again, stating that they need to get him on the next flight out of London, because he can't stay there for 3 days. He checks out his fellow passengers at the gate while waiting for his trip to London to board. There's a little girl who's escorted by a stewardess and seems scared of flying alone. Bill approaches her with the teddy bear that has fallen from her bag and also encourages her to board the plane. On the plane, a woman approaches the man sitting next to Bill and asks him to exchange seats with her, which he agrees to. The woman introduces herself as Jen Summers and comments on the ribbon Bill is holding as the plane takes off. He explains that it belongs to his daughter when she was young, and it helps to calm him whenever his flight takes off. Soon after, Bill goes to the bathroom and covers up its smoke detector so that he can smoke, and then returns to his seat and receives a text on the air marshal's secure network. Someone is threatening to kill one passenger every 20 minutes. Unless they receive $150 million in a specific bank account. After failing to locate the hijacker, Bill summons another air marshal named Jack Hammond, as he thinks that his co-worker is pranking him with the text because the sender knows that Bill was smoking earlier. However, the other marshal denies it and doesn't think anything will happen, as it's virtually impossible to commit murder on a flying plane undetected. However, Bill still goes to the cockpit to inform the pilot about the threat. But the pilot informs him that because they're flying over the Atlantic Ocean, it'll be difficult to divert the flight. They instead plan to let the Travel Security Administration, or TSA, trace the specific bank account's owner and shut the marshal's network before the 20-minute mark is passed. Afterwards, Bill goes on to look for the messenger by asking for assistance from Jennifer and a stewardess named Nancy. They look at the security cameras to check who's using their phones as Bill texts the hijacker back. As he texts back and forth, he gets a call from the TSA agent in charge of investigating the threat. Meanwhile, the woman finds that Jack has been the one constantly using his phone. So Bill follows him into the bathroom, where it's revealed that Jack has been the messenger all along. He and Bill fight over his phone, which ends up in the sink and gets wet after Jack turns on the faucet. Jack tries to shoot Bill, which prompts Bill to kill him instead. Bill's timer chimes as he exits the bathroom, notifying him that the 20-minute period is over. Unfortunately, the hijacker sends another text saying that someone has died due to Bill's actions, and that Bill must reset the timer until the money is transferred. Afterwards, the pilot tells Bill that the bank account is under his name, so he must hand over his badge and gun. While Bill is perplexed by the information, Jennifer helps him to fix Jack's phone. She asks if there's something wrong, but Bill tells her not to worry. Jack's messages reveal that the hijacker had threatened to expose the contents of his suitcase, which is filled with cocaine, when Bill opens it in the bathroom. Outside, Nancy asks him what's wrong, only to be shown Jack's body to her horror. Bill explains that the hijacker's threat had made Jack paranoid, so Bill had to kill him, because the hijacker is planning to frame Bill for the crime. Fortunately, Nancy believes him and agrees to help Bill by allowing him to do a search on the passengers who were seen using their phones earlier. However, the pilot thinks that Bill is fully hijacking the plane now, so he calls the TSA to inform them of the situation. During the search, Bill suspects and apprehends a man named Tom Bowen, who he had met earlier in the airport. The TSA calls him to relieve him of his duties and informs him that Tom is an innocent teacher. Tom says that someone paid him $100 to approach Bill at the airport and ask where he was going, but that the person didn't board the plane. Bill restrains Tom just as the plane has big turbulence. Then he and Nancy come to the cockpit because the current 20-minute period is up. There, they find the pilot having a seizure, and even with the help of a doctor on board, the pilot dies. The doctor says that it's due to poisoning or a severe allergic reaction. So Bill questions the co-pilot and Nancy to ensure they weren't the one who killed the pilot. Then Bill calls the TSA agent to force them to transfer the money to prevent more deaths, but they refuse as they think Bill is a terrorist. Meanwhile, Jennifer talks to another passenger named Zach White, who is a programmer. She informs Bill about Zach's skills, and Bill wants him to track the hijacker's anonymous number. As they only have 8 more minutes until another person is going to die, Zach works on the trace, while Bill tells the passengers in business class that that section is closed, so they must move to the economy section. The passengers complain, but he gives them a fake promise as he notices the plane has turned. When Bill asks the co-pilot about it, he says that TSA has instructed to divert the plane north for 55 minutes, and also shut down the network. Bill needs 5 more minutes of the network for Zach to finish the trace, and the co-pilot reluctantly agrees to his pleas. After Zach successfully completed the tracing in business class, Bill orders everyone on board to raise their hands for a minute while he sends a picture to the hijacker's phone number. He discovers the phone in the pocket of a blonde man, but when confronted, he claims it isn't his, before exhibiting symptoms similar to the deceased pilot. The doctor arrives but is unable to save him, and when the other passengers wonder what's going on, he decides to inform them of the fatalities. Meanwhile, Bill puts the blonde man's body in the bathroom and then notices something strange with the tissue box. He disassembles it to find a small hole leading to the inside of the cockpit. He looks through the trash bin and discovers a hollowed pen and a tiny poison dart on the dead man's body. He assumes that's how they got poisoned, so he asks an old lady who went to the bathroom if she's seen anyone inside before her. It turns out that Jennifer is the one that went in, so Bill interrogates her. He assumes that she insisted on sitting next to him because she wants to be trusted by Bill. Jennifer is angry at the accusation and says that she wanted the seat to look out the window in case her heart fails again mid-flight. Bill feels guilty and pours Jennifer a glass of whiskey and asks if she has any information about the hijacker's phone. She manages to guess the password correctly, but it sets off a bomb timer for 30 minutes and sends messages to the TSA claiming Bill is the bomber. Meanwhile, the other passengers are watching the news about Bill and how her daughter died when she was only 5 years old, leading to him becoming a loner and alcoholic. While watching it with Jennifer, Bill gets an idea and discovers the bomb hidden within the cocaine bag. When he leaves the bathroom, some passengers attack him and take his gun, though Bill tries to persuade them that there is a bomb in the restroom. Suddenly, Tom aims Bill's gun at the passengers and orders them to free him before asking him to explain what's going on. Bill tells them the truth about the situation and even about his daughter and mental condition, though he insists that he's not the hijacker. One of the passengers are convinced. He talks to Nancy and an NYPD officer to launch the bomb safety protocol by putting the bomb in the back of the plane and moving everyone to the front. He also gives his gun to the officer and tells him to take care of the hijacker if they ever show up. He explains to them that the hijacker doesn't really want the money. For some reason, they want to see an air marshal take down a plane with 150 passengers. 2 army planes fly alongside the plane as Bill walks to the cockpit. They are escorting the plane to Iceland. Bill instructs the co-pilot to lower the plane's height to 8,000 feet in order to reduce the bomb's impact. However, because he is being monitored by army planes, the pilot can only accomplish it in 10 minutes and may be able to land the plane in Iceland by then. Bill agrees, giving them around 6 minutes until the bomb goes off. Then Bill goes to get the bomb from the bathroom and shows it to the others, as they can't deactivate the bomb. Zach suggests finding the hijacker, but Bill says it's too late. He puts the bomb by the back door and instructs everyone to stack all available luggage and bags on top of it. After Bill asks the co-pilot to descend in 3 minutes, everyone is told to return to their seats as they prepare for the descent. Bill receives a call from a TSA agent confirming that the money has been transferred, which he broadcasts to the entire plane for the hijacker to hear. The TSA agent, however, remains certain that Bill is the hijacker and refuses to allow the plane to descend, saying that the world has seen the videos that someone in the plane took of him apprehending Tom. Surprised, Bill finds the young man who is still recording and grabs the phone to watch the video. He watches that Tom is the guy who put the hijacker's phone inside the blonde man's pocket. Immediately, Tom grabs the gun and places it against his head, only to discover that it's empty. The officer fights back and disarms Tom, but he is able to flee and hide in the plane's rear end. Bill looks for Tom when suddenly, Zach grabs the gun and shoots the officer. Distracted by the gunshot, Bill gets attacked by Tom, who manages to take his gun and aims it at him. As Zach threatens the other passengers, Tom tells Bill that they are doing this to let the world know that air marshals are useless and the American air security system has failed them. It turns out that Tom and Zach were in the Army after the 9/11 incident where Tom's father was killed. The two hijackers plan to use parachutes to jump from the plane, but Bill claims they're never going to make it from this altitude. The Army would also shoot down the plane if they descend, posing a threat to civilians on the ground. As a result, the only way to save everyone is by detonating the bomb. However, it turns out that Tom has no plans on surviving. Zach is persuaded to disarm the device and disable it. But then Tom shoots him. The plane suddenly drops. It throws everyone up to the roof. Tom and Bill continue to fight throughout the descent until they reach an altitude of 8,000 feet, at which point Bill manages to shoot Tom to his death. The threat is not over yet, as Zach is still alive and fights Bill to get the parachute. Bill notices the bomb is about to explode and runs to the front of the plane after knocking out Zach, which causes Zach to be burned when the bomb finally explodes. Nobody else got hit by the fire, but the co-pilot is still struggling to land the plane safely. They eventually land at high speed, causing the plane structure to fall apart, as Bill saves the little girl. Eventually, the plane stops moving, and everyone gets off the plane safely. And that's it for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. And don't forget to let us know which movie you'd like us to recap next in the comments below. Thanks for watching.